Formaji YouTube video k lia oper jo tum ny story lik kdhs k oper tai men strong hook lik k do. Hook jandar. Suspenseful our curiosity si barpor hona chaye k mary vauer engage ho jn our video ko ntk decken. The boy walked into the forest at dusk. Sunlight filtered through the tall trees, casting intricate patterns on the ground. The wind whispered through the leaves, making an unusual, eerie rustling sound. He felt a strange cold creeping down the back of his neck. He stopped walking. The smell of damp earth and decaying leaves filled his nose. His heart began to race faster than ever before. Every step he took echoed in the forest as if it belonged to someone else. Suddenly, he saw an old clock resting on a rock. He reached out to touch it. The clock felt heavy, as though it carried some unseen weight. He pressed a button on its face, and instantly, time in the forest froze. The birds stopped singing. The wind stopped moving. Even the insects mid-flight hung motionless in the air. He felt the silence, so cold it pierced his very bones. He could hear his own heartbeat, loud and overwhelming. Then, a soft laugh echoed from the darkness. The boy spun around, but no one was there. The laughter still lingered, wrapping around his ears. A cold hand brushed his shoulder. The clock in his hands began to vibrate. The numbers on its face started changing rapidly. The borrowed time seemed alive. It was demanding something back. We can continue to the shocking climax in English just like the Thai version, keeping suspense high. The boy tried to drop the clock, but his hands would not let go, as if some dark force held him tight. The laughter from the shadows grew louder. It began whispering his name slowly and clearly. The forest floor trembled slightly. Leaves fell as if thrown by invisible hands. The air grew icy, making it hard to breathe. He felt shadows moving all around him. The clock spun faster. Its numbers flashed in bright red. Every time he looked, his own reflection in the glass changed. It was a boy he did not recognize. Eyes wide with fear and pain. The laughter turned into words. Your time is no longer yours. Red light from the clock flooded his eyes. He felt his body being pulled out of the world. He screamed, but his voice was swallowed. His heart pounded like it would explode. Then, suddenly, everything stopped. The boy vanished, leaving only the clock trembling on the rock. The clock lay alone on the rock, vibrating faintly, as if it were breathing. The forest seemed different now, heavier, darker, more alive. Shadows shifted unnaturally, moving without a source. Leaves rustled though the wind was gone. A faint whisper came from the clock. It was not human, yet somehow it spoke. The boy's name echoed again, though he was gone. The voice was both near and far, inside his mind as well as outside. Then the ground beneath the rock cracked slightly, as though something below was trying to break free. A cold mist rose from the fissure, curling toward the sky and the trees. It carried the scent of metal and decay. The forest grew silent again, but the silence was sharp and heavy, pressing against the ears. The clock's hands began spinning backward now, slower at first, then faster. Each tick felt like a heartbeat, but it was not his own. It was a heartbeat that belonged to something older, something patient and cruel. The numbers on the face began melting, warping as if time itself were twisting. Then, the boy's voice screamed, inside his mind. Help me, please. It was faint, broken, distant, yet terrifyingly close. He could feel it vibrating through the ground, through the air, through his bones. The mist thickened. Shapes formed in the fog, faces, twisted and unrecognizable, pressing toward the rock. Hands reached out from the darkness, clawing at the earth, clawing toward the clock. The forest groaned under some unseen weight. Suddenly, the clock lifted itself slightly, hovering above the rock. It glowed faintly red, pulsing like a heartbeat. Then it fell into a small pool of water nearby. Ripples spread across the surface, reflecting an impossible scene. The boy trapped in a world where light and shadow twisted together. He was standing in the center of a massive void, screaming, but his mouth made no sound. The whispering grew louder, more urgent. Return it now. The words clawed at the edges of his mind. The forest shivered, and trees groaned as though alive. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through, carrying dozens of tiny, sharp voices. They spoke at once, overlapping. Warnings, threats, cries for help. The mist thickened until he could barely see the rock or the clock. His eyes burned from the red light that glowed within the fog. Then the ground shook violently.